Jules, how long would you wait before telling someone you're dating that you've been in prison?
A long time. No, it depends. If they already know about the podcast and they know what I do, then it's kind of obvious. Mm-hmm. And if they bring up the podcast kind of straight away, they get it. But if they don't, then I'll leave it a little bit.
I'm with you on that.
I don't want them to run.
That's good. Hello and welcome back to Life After Prison with Zak and Jules. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about relationships, but from a different perspective. Throughout the series, we've been talking about relationships in different episodes, but today is about the inside perspective, hearing from the people inside about what it's like to have someone waiting for you on the outside.
In a recent episode, Zak and I had a healthy debate about a healthy debate about this question. So we asked you guys, it was, would you wait for someone who's inside? And you guys said, well, 79% said yes and 21% said no. Which again, I think are quite healthy numbers, actually.
Yeah, kind of mirrored the last one, 89 and 11, almost similar.
Yeah. And I guess for somebody who is inside, that's quite a nice number to hear as well, that, you know, people outside are willing to wait if it's meaningful and if that's what they want to do. And again, though, a lot of our people replying to this are have a connection with the criminal justice system. So I think we should venture out a little bit.
Yeah. Or not.
And ask. You said this last time, but ask more people.
No, but I think it definitely gives people on the inside that comfort, you know, or that reassurance that we're still valued, relationships are still valuable, and they're worth investing your time into them. So that's a good response. I like that. 79%, that's strong. If you're listening on the inside, please get in touch with us via MPR. But for all you guys out there, you can get in touch via our Instagram and Twitter, or X as it's called now, at After Prison Pod. And TikTok is Life After Prison Pod. But don't forget, you can email us at podcast@prison.radio. Please let us know what you think.
So as we're discussing the inside perspective of relationships, so somebody in prison having a relationship with somebody who's actually on the out.
Yep.
You went to go and speak to the guys in Brixton, didn't you?
Yeah. So as we occasionally do, you know, we have a little catch up with our colleagues that work on prison radio on the inside. And on this occasion, I spoke to the guys at H&P Brixton to find out what it's really like, you know, nowadays having a relationship in prison, what's the highs, the lows. And we kind of had a discussion about it, as we spoke about before. So yeah, time to fill in everyone about what the guys inside were feeling. So Jules, one of the guys was saying that in a previous relationship, it started off good. Phone calls were flowing regularly. She used to pick up really quick. You know, the phone wouldn't even ring and she's already answering, kind of thing. Visits were all good. And then as time got on, it kind of dwindled and fizzled and he didn't hear anything back. He basically got ghosted. Yeah. Time went on. And then 3 months before he gets out, instead of getting like a Dear John letter, he got a Dear John visit. She turned up to the visit and was kind of like expressing what went on and why things broke down. Talking about she's seen other people and she wanted to see if they can have a go of it when he gets out. And he was like, nah, forget that. So, you know what I'm saying? He was just saying that, you know, that's a typical way of how relationships can break down inside.
The way you started, that was kind of like that awkward kind of like, oh, it's going that way. Because you can see why it would go that way. You know, like as soon as you just get into prison, you've got that immediate contact and everything's immediate. Everything's like, I'm there. And then, you know, as time goes on, that's the kind of way you don't want it to go if you're in a relationship, you know? So I feel for both parties there.
But do you think he's a bit harsh in saying he couldn't continue the relationship?
Oh, what? Once he's got out? No, I think that's a decision he made. And I think, you know, it's a decision, you know, no, I don't think his decision's wrong at all. I just think sometimes that's just
how
happens.
it goes, isn't it? Yeah, for real. Another thing, there was a big consensus with the guys. So they were saying that depending on how strong the relationship is what would determine how it affects your time. So they were saying basically, if you've got a great relationship, it can give you that motivation to be getting in the gym, getting your qualifications, behaving well so that you can get home early, either get your tag or get to a DCAT, open prison. So in that sense, a relationship's positive for your sentence and for your time. But on the other hand, if it's stressful, if it's like, if it breaks down, it can be really bad for your sentence, and it can be quite an emotional roller coaster.
It's risky business, to be fair. A little bit. Like, if you are not in a relationship, full stop, you just haven't got to think about it at all.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same out here.
Yeah.
If you're not in a relationship, you are not thinking about somebody else. So it's just risky, isn't it? You have to be.
It's different because, you know, when you're in them walls, like you're thinking about things differently to how you would on the outside. Like things can consume you. So I see where they go in and say it can affect your time differently depending on how good the relationship is.
Yeah. But like, if it's not good, it's that spiral downwards and it can be really detrimental.
Yes.
And if it's really good, it can be really, really, really great. So it's like, as we say in prison, everything's like heightened. So
yes,
it's risky. Like, you have to be sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to really risk yourself more so than if you're out here.
Yeah.
Just because, things are a bit more settled.
For real. So another one of the guys was saying that also another factor to consider, which we spoke about before, is the amount of time that you're doing. So the length of the sentence affects the relationship. So for example, he did a short sentence. I think he said it was about 8 months he did. But during that period, his girlfriend was, you know, really supportive. She was his rock. They communicated almost every day. She even was staying at his mum's house in his own bed.
Wow.
You know, like that. so like they were proper solid, and that helped his sentence.
Okay.
And it was good.
Yeah. That's sweet.
That's nice.
I like that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I didn't realize that they were so strong like that, and I was like, oh wow.
Was that surprising for you?
No, but like if they're unsure, and she's obviously just at his mum's, sleeping in his bed, but they're not 100%, then that can be
that's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah. But no, I like that. I think that's really sweet.
And that's dope. But 8 months, like if you remember on a previous episode, we spoke about how long, what time, how long you've been together,
definitely,
does it affect?
Definitely matters. I agree. And also these guys are sharing so much, so thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like being super honest and open and vulnerable in a way. So thank you for sharing it all.
So Jules, one of the guys is actually in a long-term relationship, actually married and has kids, right? So
we were talking about.
What we were talking about as well, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So this was great. We had a different mix.
Yeah.
So he was saying that the relationship was solid and good before prison. But once he got into jail, it got a bit darker. When he says darker, he means that he would tell the other guys like, yeah, my wife's waiting for me. And they'll be like, what? Shocked, like, what, are you sure? What, you sure she's waiting for you, brother? Like, really?
Oh, that's bad.
How do you know for sure?
Oh, no,
and
bless him. Is that what the guys are like in there?
Yeah.
All the time?
Not all the time, but it's a majority. It happens, yeah?
Okay, to be fair, it's the same in the women's.
Okay, cool.
As soon as you get in.
Check this bit though, yeah?
Go
Jules,
on.
watch this. Sorry to cut you, but check this bit.
Go on, I need to hear the rest of it.
So then he says, the more he talks about his relationship, the more the seed is planted of doubt. The seed of doubt is planted even more. So then, even to the point where if you've got a cellie, your cellmate, your padmate, who's in a relationship that's got its ups and downs, that kind of infects you. So like he starts to think about, oh, what's she doing? Where's she going? What's she wearing? Who's she talking to? And you develop these trust issues.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be really strong-minded if you to ignore all of that. But also in that environment, you're a product of your surrounding, right?
Sometimes,
that's a natural thing. So it's gonna rub off on you. And if you know what you know, and you know what you need, and you know what you want, then you can block that out.
And that's what he was saying. He's saying he had to be firm and be like, nah, You don't know my
surprised.
relationship.
But the same, like I was going to say earlier, when you in the women's prison, like on my first few days, the first thing that they said to me was, you know, do I like women?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, no. I was just really that stern with everything. And they were just like, how long have you got? And I told them how long. And they were like, yeah. Just wait. Yeah. And I was just so annoyed. I was like, how do you know what I'm going to be like? And
what is that?
why
Because
are you
that
telling me? But that was just the norm in there.
I hear you.
That is normal in there. And I think like, again, you've always got people just who know how it's going to play out or know kind of like what's going on and telling you.
Trying to enforce their kind
opinions
of opinions.
And I think it's super hard in there to not just get like, to listen to everybody.
To not get carried away by it.
Or get annoyed and angry, So, wow, he's doing well. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. So, on the flip side, someone similar to you, as in they didn't have anyone.
Yeah.
And
thanks. I'm joking.
No, but whilst they were inside. Yeah. So, he was saying that prison gives you a lot of time to think. So, it's time to work on yourself. So why spend it worrying about people on the outside?
Yeah.
You know, and it could just like kind of mess up your head, mess up your bird. So he's happy without being in a relationship.
Wow, it's a mix.
Good mix.
You had a great conversation over there.
100. So yeah, I think in terms of not being in a relationship, because I've had both, definitely makes your time better, personally.
What? In a relationship?
Not having one.
I was going to say. Yeah. That's not what you said earlier.
Focus on yourself.
But also, you haven't just got that relationship to think about. You've got other people out there as well. If you have other people, like hopefully you do, you know, friends and family. So you've got a lot to think about. So yeah, I think I'm the same. Like I said before, I'm grateful that I wasn't. But, you know, you've got some people that it's really helping them. So
yeah, it works both ways.
Yeah.
And then talking about coming out of prison, so the guy that's got his wife and kids, he was saying that there's a change in the household dynamic since he's been in prison, right? So he's a bit nervous about when he gets out because basically...
How long's it been, sorry?
I believe he was doing 2 to 3 years.
Okay, yes, like a significant amount of time.
Yeah. And maybe even more, actually. And he was talking to his wife and his kids, and his son was saying that basically, I'm the man of the house now, Daddy. But he's young, isn't he? He's about 5 or 6, something like that.
No.
And he's saying, Daddy, where are you going to sleep when you get out? Because like, I've basically got your bed. So
do you know what?
You need to find somewhere to sleep.
You need...
Basically, that's what his son was saying. And he had to like kind of sit back and think, rah, you know, things have changed since I've been away. And even his wife was saying, you know, I have to get used to you being around again.
Do you know what? It's crazy. It doesn't sound like a lot, but for someone little telling their dad that they're the man of the house.
Yeah, like you got to find somewhere else to sleep. Where's your bed?
That must be so hard to hear.
No, but he kind of laughed it off.
Yeah, because it is funny. Yeah. Like it's funny, but if you look deeply into it, it could be like, oh, like I've actually made an impact. That you know, people are thinking these things. Like my child is thinking these things.
But the good thing is he's out soon, so
100%, and it will change. And this is such these kind of things only make people stronger. 100. And if he's learning to be a man of the house at that age, then when he's grown,
you're winning.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So yeah, big up the guys that I spoke to, our colleagues on Prison Radio.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us.